evening and welcome back to the Team 7 podcast. This is the second episode of Naruto Shippuden watch through and the 22nd episode. Actually, I did it again, the 21st episode of the podcast in total. So right now we're seeing the result of Gar being kidnapped and Team Guy coming to assist Team Kakashi, and we have a whole lot of fighting going on, and we saw some cool stuff. So what stuck out to you guys?
Sand Shark.
Kisame sucks. He's
Not a fan.
Probably my least favorite. There's no
It's
cool
the
factor.
eyes.
Yeah, there's that and everything else too. But like Logan's love for Itachi being kind of badass, like there's no redeeming cool factor quality.
He's
Hey,
just
that
like
hair, though. Just saying. I'm just kidding. I don't like his hair. Nothing about him. I don't even like sharks. I try to avoid the Discovery Channel during Shark Week too. So
Kisame is just one of the. I find most of the Akatsuki characters or members annoying, by and large. Even the ones that you guys haven't met yet, but the ones we have met. So Kisame, Itachi, Deidara, and Sasori. That's just the four, right? We've not met any more.
The guy whose head.
Oh,
is
okay,
kind
but
of,
we don't know. We don't have a name.
those are the
For
only
that.
4 names. Yeah.
yeah,
we definitely
I
don't
thought they
have
said
a
his name later, but Zetsu.
name. Okay, they did. Yeah, that's
they
his
did.
name. Okay, so that's Zetsu.
The Venus flytrap guy.
That's the plant I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Just because I like his design, but the other 4, Itachi's the only one I like. I don't care at all for Kisame, Deidara. Sasori's all right. He's all right, but
He annoys
ultimately,
me. He annoys me the most.
and that's because you're watching in dub. He has a very
true.
annoying personality in dub. And he may have that same personality in the sub. I just don't speak Japanese. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I find him cool, super cool concept, but like his personality is just annoying to me.
Yeah, I agree with that take for sure.
But the fight was cool. I mean, Guy went like straight to what, like gate 4.
I think it was past that. I think it was 6.
Was it
Yeah,
6?
I think it was 6.
Good
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was determined.
That's right.
I was scared for him. I'm still scared for him. Well, no, because he does recover by the end of this arc. But
Do you think in this world, there's like still like the story of Moses leading the people out of Egypt, and basically Guy he opens the 6th gate and he parts the water with his chakra, and then they go through? Do you think that that's happening in this universe or not?
Could be.
I was gonna say no, but maybe Guy is kind of the stand-in in this universe if there are parallels to it, you know?
I see. The stand-in. Got it. Yes, absolutely. Now that I see that. Okay, anyways. So
Can you just for a second? Can you
Yeah.
imagine if Moses talked like Guy Sensei? That's why he had such a hard time leading all those people. They're like, "What in
I
the
said-
world, dude?"
Pharaoh, let my people go.
Oh, dude. That's
Yeah.
great.
What a vibe, though. I liked
Mm.
seeing that team fight a little bit.
Yeah.
We did get a
Neji.
little.
I was just going to say, Neji's so cool.
Yeah.
Neji's
I'm
the
appreciating Neji more and more as we go. And, that's all the way back to the Chunin exams where they're like fighting each other and the bird flew out of the cage. Like that was kind of my turning point with Neji, and we talked about that. But for his fighting style and context now that I've seen, just the way that he operates and like he can like, has this radar with his vision. I appreciate everything about Neji at this point. I'm ready to be on Team Neji for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of unfair to be on his team. I mean, they're teams, so they've all got to work together, whatever. But he's got like two cool powers. He's got the Byakugan, and then like being able to utilize Gentle Fist is just so cool. I love that fighting style.
Yeah. He's like, and I think that his character redesign is really well done in an aspect that like makes him look older.
Yeah.
And Neji looks like he's aged like a good amount into like a late teen. I really like the the fights that they. I know I'm skipping ahead just a bit, but the fights that they have like with themselves are, and I don't think that we're actually to the end of those quite yet. But they're. It's just such an interesting concept to like have to fight yourself, and like who wins, because we saw Neji and Hinata from OG, like they should be able to go like toe to toe. So to have like an exact clone of you fighting back with also using gentle fists, like it's just tough.
I kind of
Fight.
I feel like with Gentle Fist, if you get hit once, you're in bad shape.
Yeah, that's what I feel like they said that, like hitting the like chakra points. If you get hit like in a vital spot, like it can be over for you after that, just because you can't circulate any chakra.
Shut down.
Yeah,
I feel like with this, it's a challenge more or less. It's this challenge of fighting the clone of themselves. I feel like personally, it's going to be a game changer for this team, because if you're fighting yourself in a survival match, like this isn't a training exercise with like some virtual reality, like this is real, you're going to kind of see some of your weaknesses that you can maybe patch up in future fights, or like know how to anticipate your own moves so that maybe you're, even stronger against opponents in the future. I think that's a pretty cool opportunity, even though they're kind of fighting for their life at this point. But I just thought that was a neat piece of that challenge.
I'm not saying it's bad storytelling, by the way, because it's a cool what do you call it? The fact that is the barrier. That's what ends up happening if you try to get through to the Akatsuki's lair or whatever. But it annoyed me so bad. I was like, I hate that they have to split off and do this, because I want to see them fight with Team 7 or Team Kakashi. Sorry.
Same. And they would have destroyed them. Like, Gatora and Sasori would stand absolutely no chance had the team stayed. And that's exactly why it was written, so that they wouldn't.
Absolutely. And again, it is a cool like barrier thing. It just made me so angry. I was like, I want to see Guy and Kakashi fight again like they did when the sand was invading and Orochimaru was invading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One day.
Well, one day, maybe. We'll see.
And one other thing, we got a couple comments on social media that Tintin is the more useless at this point. I'm gonna change the way that I talk about characters, because I think useless is just it's not just unfair, it's mean. I think underutilized is what I'm going for at this point. And I hate that there are so many good characters, and I think some of them are just going to be underutilized for the sake of story. When it comes to Tintin, I don't think her particular style of fighting is just gonna, I was about to say useful again. Dang it. I just don't think it's gonna like, move the bar forward or whatever.
It's bland. It's bland.
Kind of, yeah.
And that's the problem with Shino. Shino is not bland, but because he is so overpowered, he is underutilized.
Makes
sense.
Like,
we do not see enough of Shino at all.
Yeah. But I say that about Tintin as well, because I think on a team, she's got a lot to offer. And it kind of sucked that like, and because I hate Kisame so much, that she was throwing stuff at him. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. And then just like blocked with that stupid sword. I hate that sword. I hate the water.
Got a
What's
name
the
for
name
it
of it?
now. Shark skin.
Yeah, shark skin.
At least that's translated to English.
Right.
I think it's I'm gonna look it up, but I want to say like Samehada or something like that. That
Sounds
might be
cooler.
Yeah.
that might be a different name or a different sword later.
Well,
Lops
speaking
off
of,
flesh.
while you're looking that up, speaking of Kisame, the
Oh yeah,
thing,
that's it. Sorry.
I got a question about the water prisons. Like, are they in water?
Yeah.
How are they talking? How are they breathing? What's going on there?
That's some anime just suspension of disbelief.
Gotcha.
It's the same thing of them picking up a body and running away with it like it's a bag of groceries with chips in it, like that it weighs nothing. And you're just like, they're strong. How about that? And that's kind of what's happening here too. It's like, oh, Tintin's at her limit, but Rock and Neji are fine. Like they can hold their breath for another 3 episodes. And you just kind of accept that that's just how it is. But it is full of water, yeah.
Because, I mean, the reason I ask is because we were talking about Tintin and Kisame, and Tintin started, like, not being able to survive the water prison. It's like she wasn't able to hold her breath and talk as long as everybody else could. I didn't understand why, if you're talking, you're breathing. But
well, and some of that I can't remember exactly. Were their lips moving?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Were
It's
you
just
thinking
one of those things?
Were
Yeah.
you thinking maybe they were just thinking thoughts or something?
Well, it could have been, but I just couldn't
Yeah.
remember specifically if they were like actually conversing or not.
I know Rock Lee at 2 points, because he was so worried about Guy, was like yelling, but it didn't affect anything. It wasn't like, oh, I'm using so much air, I've got to conserve a little more. He was just yelling. I'm like,
Right.
you would be dead.
Yeah,
But
that's just one of those things. You just
Gotcha.
kind of roll with it. So they finish up the fight. So while they are fighting Kisame, then like an episode after, I think Itachi shows up before Team Kakashi and Granny Chiyo at this point. So they start fighting. The neck break of Naruto being caught in genjutsu. Did you guys anticipate that at all? Do you know what I'm talking about?
When you say
when
neck
he
break,
I just mean like him being in a genjutsu for so long, and us not knowing, or him not knowing.
The reason I suspected it is because they talked about the flaw of Itachi's eyes and not being able to do it as long as maybe he would like to be able to do it, because if you could just constantly put people in the Mangekyo, however you say it, Mangekyo, like he would be running around doing that to everybody. But obviously everybody has limits, and there's like balancing challenges for like different powers and everything. So I kind of had a feeling they were going to do something that wasn't necessarily as bad, but when it happened, I was definitely like, oh yeah, I probably should have called that. But it didn't surprise me as much as maybe they were hoping it would for some. But
I just want to clear up one thing. Just, I'm not trying to be rude, but the Mangekyo is a type of Sharingan. So Itachi has the Mangekyo Sharingan, but what he's putting them in is the Tsukuyomi. So it's like a dojutsu technically. It's basically a jutsu that can only be used by Mangekyo Sharingan specifically. So
Bro, you can just tell me. You don't have to be rude about it.
yeah, I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that. Anyways, so that's I just want to make sure because Tsukuyomi is something we obviously saw before, and we will continue to see it. So I just think it's important that you understand like why that jutsu is so specific to Itachi.
Okay, I have a question then.
Yes.
Because that actually did help clear something up for me. Because I thought, I mean, it makes sense that there's like an additional term for what he's putting people through and kind of freezing time for them in the real world or whatever. But I thought that was the Mangekyo Sharingan. So that is a separate thing. Then is that more advanced Sharingan basically like he can read your movements and still do all that stuff, and this is like an additional power on top of it or as a result of it?
Yeah, so
Okay.
remember at the end of OG, like all the backstory we get with Sasuke's family and
Yeah.
how Itachi, like basically why or how Itachi killed the clan. During that, they talk about like Itachi killing his best friend to attain the Mangekyo Sharingan,
Right.
and that is like why. Sorry, I'm blanking on what my point is here. Like,
Is that like the precursor to why he's able to use that technique?
so what do you mean? What's the precursor?
Well, I guess him killing his best friend, because that's the main thing that he says to Sasuke. He doesn't tell Sasuke you have to kill like a whole village of people. He's like,
Right.
it has to
Killing-
be someone close to you.
Yeah, so we'll get more explanation. I remember what I was going to say. So we'll learn more about the Mangekyo Sharingan and just in the Sharingan in general throughout the course of Shippuden. But so that's coming, and more specific details will come that just with time. But for now, it is an upgraded Sharingan. Remember how Sasuke like got like one little ring and then two and then three? Well, the Mangekyo Sharingan is like that next step up that can only be achieved through killing your best friend, from what we've heard from Itachi. So Itachi has that, and that is the like key, if you will, to being able to use jutsu or dojutsu specifically, like the Tsukuyomi. So there are others that are in that, like Amaterasu. So we saw that the Black Fire. We saw him like escape out of the toad in OG Naruto. That's also from the Mangekyo Sharingan.
Okay.
Also, with that, using those jutsu are so straining on the eye that you lose them over time. So that's why they're talking in the like episode around like episode 13 or 14, somewhere around there, that Itachi like couldn't withstand using it for a really long time anymore because he had like been using it and it comes at a cost. So I got off on a really long tangent about the Mangekyo Sharingan, but did that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. That's very helpful. So that's kind of like the next step of their clan's ability. Oh, what is that called? What is the bloodline ability called?
KK Genkai.
Keiki Genkai. Okay. And then the other things. So here's my next question. And if this gets too into the weeds, I'll like edit some of it out. But are the Tsukuyomi, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that something that other people could do with
the
their
Sharingan.
ability? Or
With
is
the
that
Sharingan.
only okay? It has to be tied to Sharingan.
Yeah, the way that Gentle Fist is
Gotcha.
tied to the Byakugan.
Byakugan. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like Kimimaru using his like different bone jutsu
stuff
because he's got KK Genkai. Or Haku and the Ice Senbon, stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay. So Itachi and Kisame lose. They get beaten, and then it becomes clear that they were using body doubles, which is terrifying. And we saw the fate of Yura after we didn't really know what happened. I think the last we saw him was like episode 3, or well, it was probably went 3, but it maybe was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So pretty creepy stuff. I was trying to like rewatch this scene with the Akatsuki in the cave talking about how they pulled this jutsu off to maybe answer any questions you guys had. I believe that this is the jutsu of the leader with the ring eyes that we were seeing. I don't want to give any more information than that, just from what we know. And I guess the sorcery just provided the people, but they didn't know. Like, I'm trying to say, I wish that we got more on how that was done, because it was like fully them. And also, how did Kisume's double have Samehara, which I looked it up is the literal translation of shark skin. So
right.
That
so
makes
there's
sense.
I mean, it's a double to the point that they have like physical objects that they would have used.
You're right, which wouldn't make sense.
Right.
Like because of the nature of that sword that we saw, where like each chakra and stuff like that. That's not just like, oh, we can double a sword. So that's just one thing that like just irks me. That it's just like, okay, like I can have suspension of disbelief for a lot of stuff. I mean, overall, like, I mean, the you have to, in general, to watch anime, I believe. But it's just stuff like that it's like, but like how? Like if it's the actual sword, then how? And if that's the case, then why are we not doubling people so we have infinite amount of swords?
Yeah, and I'm assuming part of the explanation there is that like it just takes a crazy amount of power to do that. And they do mention at the beginning of 16 that it's not just a transformation jutsu, like there's more to it or something,
Right.
which
It's
just
like
seems wild.
it's like it's not clones, obviously, but like they take on like the skin of those people, clearly, because Kisame has shark skin.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah.
what's really interesting to me about that too is that Orochimaru is not a part of the Akatsuki anymore, and that seems right up that nasty tongue dude's alley. So it just seems, I can't wait for the explanation of like why did he leave, and a little more of him and Four Eyes. I can't remember what his name is because I hate him so much. Yeah,
Kabuto. It's easy to hate him.
Yeah.
Back to the clones though, the thing that was weird for me was that Itachi's ring and eyes, like you can't perform those Sharingan without that. And the fact that he could do that through a puppet of some sort kind of explains the context of not doing the certain Mangekyo that you were talking about that I forgot the name of already, but it kind of explains why he couldn't pull that off. But again, it's frustrating in continuity's sake of like how is this even possible? Not to mention, why is this not used way more? If you're able to be fully healed by the end of this battle and able to go walk away from it and not, have to recuperate in any way except for restoring chakra, that to me would be like strategy number 1 all over the place.
Right. Yeah. I agree. And to that point, the clone fights between Team Guy and themselves, whenever I was watching Lee, I was like, why wouldn't he immediately take off his leg or his ankle weights and have an immediate advantage?
That's a great point. I never even thought of that because I forgot that he wore the ankle weights.
I'm just assuming he does, or still is, because he's not moving at lightning quick speeds constantly. But you would think that he would be like, oh my God, I have to deal with this. So ankle weights off immediately, and then handle. And even if that means that the clone also does it, but like at least you'd be able to fight it like your best.
See, I think I have I'm developing an on the spot theory here of why that kind of like he just dealt with recuperating from the tuning exams and
Well, years ago now.
sure, but I'm saying how long had he worn the weights before he fought Gar originally to be able to get to the speed that he's at? And the reason I say that is like I used to play baseball, and before a big hit, most of the time, honestly, if I was on deck and I was warming up, I would put like 3 of those weighted donuts on the bat so that whenever I got up there, the bat felt super light and I could swing it a lot faster. But if I just swung it 1 time or 2 times, it wouldn't have the same effect as if I was doing it for like the entire time the person before me was batting. And sometimes if I knew I was going in immediate, like I was guaranteed to go in, I would start immediately and be able to, just swing it. And, it would just make it feel lighter and lighter the longer I did it. And so I wonder if that's what Rockley's doing is like, he doesn't want to use it up for these little things. Maybe he didn't consider this to be the final challenge of he knew the original goal was to get to the hideout and get Gara back and all this stuff. So I wonder if he's saving that for something that could be more important or to the absolute best time so that he's not going back to the normal speed of Rock Lee by default quicker. I don't know.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I like
that would
theory.
make a lot of sense. I kind of zoned out there for a minute because you said donuts, and this is the first time I've ever heard that people put donuts on a bat.
You are
to,
just
like, weigh
the
it down.
worst.
It was a
No, I'm
weighted.
serious.
It was like a ring of just weight. It was just a metal ring,
Yeah.
and you would slide it on the bat, and as you swung it, it would make it super heavy. And so when you take it off, the bat felt way lighter. Like, and because the bat is still the same weight, and it's, there's different styles and weights and bats and all that stuff, but that's baseball culture. But yeah, people would put
Okay.
weights on their
Yeah.
bats to make it lighter.
That makes sense. And for once in my life, I was not trolling. I was, legitimately curious. But I will leave you with this. Are they edible?
No, they're not.
All right. And with that, we're going to go to our halftime break. Thank you very much. We'll be right back right after this quiz we're going to take. So, Asher, we're going to play and you're going to guess. Somebody that we know sent a text today to me that said, Logan, I just watched the reels from your podcast, and that is legitimately the only time I've ever heard Asher speak seriously about something. And I love that. Who do you think sent the text?
I have no idea.
His name
Can I
starts
guess?
with J. Yeah.
It's with a J.
Jay. Okay,
Jesus?
I'm thrown off.
Who
Was
were
it
you going to
Jesus?
say? No, it wasn't Jesus. Who were you going to say, Zach?
I was going to say Isaac.
Nope. J.
Jacob?
Jay.
All right. And we'll find out at the end of the podcast. So, welcome back.
Oh my God.
let's
Nobody
see.
cares who that is.
Next
Not even real.
up, we see the death of Gara.
Dude,
I
Are
don't
you
know.
guys pissed?
I'm with
You don't
Zach
know.
on
What
this
do you
one.
mean?
I don't think he's dead.
I don't know. I don't want him to be dead.
Okay.
I don't think he's dead. They
Okay.
gave Choji a better exit, and he's back. Maybe.
No, we
still
know
have-
he's back.
Did we see him? We saw
Yeah.
everybody but Choji.
I saw him in
Choji
filler,
was-
so
Choji
Okay.
was in the
That's right. It was
like
filler.
outro.
It was filler.
he
You know
was
me.
he was in the outro too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Choji had a better like tribute send off and that was fake.
Right.
Like,
Exactly, but that was fake.
So here's what I'm thinking though, Zach. In the moment, like, what if this is just to show how terrible the Akatsuki are? Like, we've got Datara just sitting on his chest. Like, if that's a dead body, these are the worst of the worst kind of people. However, we have been fooled before. I just don't know. At this point, like, my head's kind of spinning with the possibilities. Like, it would really suck, but I could really, really definitely see it moving the plot forward if he is dead.
Here's why I don't think it's real. Because Naruto is still going after his body. I know he's wanting to bury Gaara and give him a proper burial and funeral. I could very well see that. And I'll believe that he's dead when he's in the ground. Or burned.
What kind of
Or-
take is that?
What do you mean? What kind of take is that?
He's dead. He died.
I don't know.
I mean,
We watched him
episode
die.
17 is called The Death of Gaara. And as soon as I saw that, like, my heart sank when I saw that.
Me too. And then immediately said, nah, I'm not buying it. I mean, how many times have we been fooled? How many times have I said I have trust issues from this show? How many times, bro? So many times.
I am still holding out hope that he's alive and just won't have the power anymore.
Which is what I predicted last week.
Yeah.
But again, if they killed Gaara in this way and didn't give him a more sincere send-off than Choji got.
But like, think about like the third Hokage. He didn't get a super sentimental. Like, he died.
They had a whole funeral.
Like 3 episodes later.
Sure. And again, I'll believe he's dead when I see that.
Naruto has to get his body back. What do you mean? How do you mean he's not dead though? Like, what?
To me, he's not dead until he's in the ground or burned or whatever. And until that moment, there is a possibility for the disposition of belief. What have you been saying?
That's the suspension of disbelief. It's like one of the 5 necessary things for storytelling.
I like the disposition of belief. That's
I like that too.
The
disposition of belief. That's fucking deep, bro.
I believe that. Let me give a quick prediction.
What I'm
I think.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, in the suspension of disbelief, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, you got it.
He could just be flopping around and still being able to be,
flopping around. What in the world do you mean by that?
I don't like that choice of words. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm saying
with you.
they're like, you talked about picking
Magikarp?
up a body like a bag of chips earlier, and that's what they're doing with his body. He's just like in this clay bird's mouth, just legs going everywhere when it flies.
Right.
It's flopping around.
Are you saying Gaara used Splash and it was ineffective?
Hey, Gaara is a Gyarados at this point.
Gyarados.
A Gyarados?
Gyarados. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think. I could be in denial, which is great. I'm fine with that. But I don't want him to be dead. I literally wrote a note. If they kill Gaara, I might quit the show.
Well, we will cross that bridge next week when we see the culmination of this story arc and Zach quitting the podcast.
I just put in all caps, no, he can't die. No. Awful. Here's my prediction. This is my wild,
But he got his
way out there
redemption.
prediction.
He got his redemption in the end of Naruto.
Kind of. It was all in flashbacks, though. That's what would bother me if he is actually dead. If his redemption arc was just a couple conversations with Kankuro, like it's good, but I even did say last episode that if he did die, that it was a good arc. And it is, but we didn't see enough of it. That's my problem with it.
But we've still got like 12 episodes left. And they can do arcs. Like, just if he dies doesn't mean we don't get more development on him.
Hey, both of you shut up for a second. Here's my crazy prediction is that Shukaku is not gonna vibe with this whole getting extracted and going into the eyeballs or whatever. And he's gonna be like, I'm busting out of here. He finds Gaara, he's got the power, brings him back to life.
You know that, like, the Nine Tails hates Naruto, right? You know that.
I don't fully accept that.
You two must have texted before and said, let's just troll Logan with the worst takes tonight.
Why is
Swear
that
to
a
God,
bad
we did.
take?
Denial from Zach, and then just beyond out of left field from Asher.
It's what I want.
I don't necessarily think that he hates Naruto either. I'm being serious.
What has the show given you to make you believe that the Nine Tails does not hate Naruto? And I was only saying that to say that the Shikaku, the One Tail, also hates Gaara.
I will tell you. In the fight with Sasuke, at the end of Sasuke retrieval mission, at the end of OG Naruto, he says, I don't remember what he says, but he basically brings him back to life. And he did not have to do that. If he hated Naruto, he could have just died and died with him.
But Nine Tails doesn't want to die.
So is Shikaku still alive? Even though he's been extracted?
His ceiling was just transplanted, basically.
So if Naruto dies, the Nine-Tailed Fox dies as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't buy it. I don't buy that he like hates him. And I think there's time for him to like for them to grow to a certain level. I'm not saying they're gonna love each other. They're not gonna be Sasuke and Naruto kissing in class in OG Naruto, okay? But they're gonna at least have an understanding, like we respect each other. We might even like each other.
I don't know.
See, you're either spoiling a future plot, or I'm gonna have to see it to believe it again. Because when you're talking about demons living inside of someone's soul, that's a whole nother realm. Like, I don't think that when the body dies, the demon dies as well. I think that's just a personal take.
I want to use this as an opportunity to say I can't wait for you all to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And that's not a spoiler. That's just, you'll understand it when you see it.
Noted.
Note it.
But here's the deal, okay? If Gaara is dead, well, let me back up. So,
and when the tailed beasts are extracted, the person dies.
Maybe.
I'm with you on that, by the way. It's just funny the way you said it. But
you're with Logan or you're with me?
I'm with you, Zach.
I was gonna double interrupt you just to be an ass, but you took too long to start it back up. But I was just trolling you before. Go ahead.
Trolling me about what? Hot
just
takes?
Interrupting you. No, like just purely talking over you just to mess with you.
Here's the deal, okay? It's taken a second for me to understand what the word Jinchuriki means.
Yeah.
I found out this week.
Yeah, okay.
So in the beginning of these episodes, in like episode probably 12, I think I made a note of like, I feel like each member of the Akatsuki are going after a certain tailed demon. Because I was like,
they've been
maybe there's, several of them. Chio clears that up for us. We get that explanation. Thank you, Chio. I'm appreciative. But what I'm confused about is at the end, Datara says that they are destroying them. The Jinchuriki. Is the Jinchuriki the host, or is that the demon? Because
that's the host.
So they're destroying the hosts.
Yeah, like they want to take Gaara's body to get rid of Gaara entirely, but Sasori wants to take Gaara to make Gaara one of his puppets, so that he can have a Kazekage puppet. And then Naruto wants to take his body so that he can give him a proper funeral, so that he's not desecrated by the Akatsuki anymore.
And Itachi wants Naruto. He's salty about Sasori getting Naruto because he wants the nine-tailed fox.
Well, he wanted to just be the one to do it. Yeah. That was an eye roll from Zach. Let's just make sure that that's in the editing.
Sure.
Be careful, Zach. If you do that too much harder, your eyes will dislocate and then there'll be crazy eyeballs.
Is that what happens to Itachi one day? He's just like...
Exactly.
He still has the Sharingan, but it's like not going the way he wants it to. He can't focus it.
Here's the deal. Gaara's dead.
Okay. So what? What changed?
The destruction of the Jinchuriki. I thought they were destroying the demons, not the hosts. And if that's what their goal was, then Gaara's dead.
The death of Gaara, episode 17.
Nope. I take it back. Your face shows me he's not dead.
I was about to say I'm still not convinced.
I literally have been the whole series for 21 episodes, however many we've had. 22 if you count series recap. I have purposely tried to give you the wrong facial expressions so that you never know what's next, and have purposely led you down the wrong path and the right path simultaneously.
What about voice tone?
What about voice tone? I don't know. Sometimes I get it. I guess if you think you read me, you read me. I guess we'll find out next batch. You really will get your answer next batch. But I'm telling you right now that the title of episode 17, The Death of Gaara, is named that for a reason.
No. It's named that to pull on the heartstrings of the world who watches Naruto.
If Gaara dies...
I don't know what to tell you, man. Besides, we just have to watch it.
If Gaara dies, I support the rumbling in the world of Naruto.
In the world of Naruto. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we need like a little crossover. Lame. Well, anyways, we'll get our answer on that next batch. But they break in. They remove the seals. We've talked about that. Sakura uses her useless punch that everybody hates for some reason. And then they're in. We don't really get a lot. We just, from there, we get a lot of taunting from both sides. We do finish this batch with, in episode 20, with just the most beautiful like animation of dodging poisoned Sinbon needles from Sasori, from Chio and Sakura. That whole
Can I give you my favorite Chio impersonation?
Awful, dude. Go ahead.
Let's just edit in a bunch of like laser needles going past me, and this is me as Chio.
That's right.
And I mean, they're laser fast, bro.
Oh yeah, not one of them hit. Not one.
And he was so shocked. So shocked.
Yeah. That's just one of those.
I kind of would be too. Like, he shot a literal 1,000 of those.
It was a Gatlin level machine.
On top of the landmines that you would possibly step in, because every single one of those needles landed straight in and straight up.
Isn't that
None of
amazing
them
how they
landed
shot?
like.
Isn't that amazing that he shot them horizontally right at
And
them,
they went.
and then they just fell right at their feet when they missed. They're like, well, I guess we'll just go to the ground now and see if we can get stepped on. Yeah, dude.
I think at
that
this point, I'm
sequence is
convinced
so
that
lame.
everyone is in the Mangekyo Sharingan. See, we've kind of evolved. We've moved on from everyone is a substitution jutsu. Everyone is stuck in the Mangekyo Sharingan. And at the end of Shippuden, 1 second has passed, and Sakura absolutely messes up Itachi, just punches a hole through his stomach.
I'm not going to confirm how much validity is in there.
And that's the end. That's it.
Wow, dude. What a theory.
This is because I watched Truman Show and played Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and they messed me up as a child. So I think, and The Matrix, so everything is The Matrix now. So
And Seinfeld.
I did watch a lot of that. Not sure how it applies here, but I certainly did watch it. Also, okay, can we talk about guy with the wireless radios?
Yeah,
hey, this is the time for technology.
Yeah,
a cool little moment, honestly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Rock Lee not knowing his volume was super loud?
What? He didn't know his volume was super loud.
Dude. My favorite Mike Guy moment from this series is when he just takes that giant punch straight to the wall and it ripples. Right? And he just looks at the camera like, what a barrier.
Wait, he breaks the fourth wall there?
Yes. He looks at the camera and he says, what a barrier.
There's no way that they broke the fourth wall. That's unbelievable.
It's either the fourth wall was broken or it's like right off the line
Like he's
of
looking
like
right
eye
off.
contact.
Yeah.
Like as if I was like this, but not quite like this.
Yeah.
It's like, what a barrier.
I think I understand Might Guy a little bit now. He's a performer through and through.
100%.
And as a child, he had this decision to make. Am I going to become a shinobi? Am I going to pursue my first love, which is acting in Make Out Paradise or whatever? So he chose to be a shinobi. But he's still kind of operating under the guise of like, he thinks that there's cameras everywhere. Or if there were cameras somewhere, he would be looking at them, and he's kind of, still a little performative. That's all.
I like that theory. That's your best theory yet.
I've seen the Even Stevens movie. He could just be a paid actor in this big ruse that they're trying to prank a certain group of people.
We should review all of the Disney Channel original movies.
Can we do Xenon, the trilogy first?
No, I was going to start with Cadet Kelly.
Ooh, good choice. Dude. Man. Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny
Capahala back on board, baby.
Not sure what that is. So
you know exactly what it is. Don't even act cool.
I really don't. But anyways, Naruto and Kakashi are following Deidara, and this is kind of where we're ending the batch. But he's luring them off, trying to split the two of them up. Kakashi is not going to leave Naruto. Like, there's just no way. And Naruto is not going to leave without getting Gar's body. So they're going to fight next batch, and then we'll see the conclusion of the entire arc. But so we'll also see the conclusion of Sasori and Chio and Sakura. and then whatever happens with Team Guy, if they can beat themselves off, and and then we'll see what's next for Team 7.
Completely forgot. Oh, I remember. Man, you got me so off track. Zach, you called it from the last episode because Logan mentioned the last episode is Haruko versus 2 Kunoichi, and you were like, Haruko is Granny's grandson. It totally is. That was a crazy prediction.
Not really. Haruko is the puppet.
Okay,
the
but
ama.
it's Sasori using the
Sasori, yeah. And we're gonna see Sasori's face real soon.
What a cliffhanger. I can't wait to see what that slime ball looks like.
Me either.
The funny thing about it, I don't know
Robert
if you did this on purpose, but Sasori hates when people make him wait. And you made us wait on what he looks like for another week.
Well, it wasn't on purpose, but I just thought it was a good place to stop because you wouldn't be able to see what he actually looked like. So part of that is, what do you guys expect? Have you seen thumbnails from before or from ahead? Do you know what he looks like? Or okay, what do you think he's gonna look like?
I think he's gonna look like a teenager.
A teenager?
Yeah, like a little kid.
Okay. That
Maybe
makes
not a
sense. I
little
mean,
kid.
he needs to be small to fit inside of Hiroko.
Oh, I didn't even think.
Maybe not like a little kid, but young.
But young.
But not like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not child, but like maybe the age of like Naruto and OG.
Maybe the age of Itachi or older, a little older.
Okay.
Well, what's kind of weird is that Granny Chio sees Naruto sleeping and starts to flash back to like images of Sasori as a younger person. So I kind of think that, I mean, depending on how long ago that was, he's probably like 30.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's
like,
right.
Not old, but
he's I don't know for sure, and somebody on social media might be able to tell us this, but I think he's somewhere between 30 and 40, just with the 20-year gap from when she saw him last to this fight now. It's been 20 years. So we know that he's at least that tacked on to however old he was whenever he left the village.
But he
I didn't
might
realize
be doing
that.
a Tsunade thing.
Ooh, or it could be. Okay, here's the deal. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he was as old as he was. But that makes sense because Chio's so old. I get it. So I'm still going to stand by what he said. I think he's going to look younger, but I think it's going to be because the Haruko has some kind of ability to keep him looking youthful. As he's using it as a armor, it's keeping him from aging. But the Tsunade theory could be good too.
Yeah.
Sure.
We will get our answers next time. So next batch is episodes 21 through 32. That's going to round out season 1 of Shippuden for us. And we'll get all of our answers for where Gaara's funeral will be held, and or if he's eaten, or what,
or if
Gaara's
he's even
fate
dead.
is. All right. And then yeah. So we'll see you next time, I guess. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I was just going to say the toughest part in episode 17, the death of Gaara, which would lead me to believe maybe he's dead, is when he's in that kind of heavenly sort of, I don't know, in between consciousness kind of state. And he says, at least in the sub, it was, have I become an existence someone needs? I'm just a small feeling. I was like, oh, killing me. Show's killing me. But no, he's not dead.
Well, I guess we'll see you next time then. 2 absolute deniers. It's going to be tough for you guys to accept this.
Hey, I'll watch the next batch with a box of tissues in case I start crying.
Good for you. Proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll see you next week with episodes 21 through 32. Team 7 podcast everywhere now, I believe. Look us up on Twitter. I don't know if we're on Twitter. Why did I even say that? I was going to say
that's
TikTok.
like the one we're not on.
Yeah, I don't know why Twitter came out of my mouth. I was going to say TikTok.
Could I just say real
TikTok,
quick?
Instagram, YouTube, Spotify.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If you do interact with some of our posts and stuff, please don't give any spoilers. There was a spoiler for Attack on Titan. That's kind of okay, but I did just want to know if anyone's, watched up to this point. We haven't finished it, although I think Logan's finished the manga or something. But yeah, please don't give us any spoilers for the remainder of Shippuden. We would love you forever.
Please. That would be great.
But comment like crazy people.
All right, we'll see you next week then.